I'm gonna take a right. So, I would like to talk about the MSF course. And for those who don't even know what that is, it's the motorcycle safety course, or it's motorcycle safety foundation course. And it's a course designed to teach someone from novice to expert, or just to teach someone how to ride a motorcycle correctly and properly and safely and all that stuff. And I've heard people talk about that, and I've had some people say that it's helped them amazingly or tremendously, and I've had people tell me that it hasn't helped them at all, and blah 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 blah. And from my experience, it's what you take away with it. If you go in there thinking, oh, I know everything, this is going to be a breeze, or this is stupid, I don't know why I have to take this, blah 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 blah, I mean, then you're really not going to take anything away with it. If you go in there with an open mind thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to try to learn something I didn't know before, and that's what I went in with. I didn't assume that I knew everything. I knew that I was a good driver, because I personally, not to toot my own horn, but I think I'm a good driver, to be honest. And I went in there thinking, you know, I can probably learn something. I can definitely learn some other things. Maybe there's some things I didn't know before I went into the course. And I did. When I walked out, I was much more comfortable driving a motorcycle than before I went into the course. And they cover everything. The first 2 days, from what I took, it was the basic rider course. So they have 2 days of in-class training. So you're sitting there in like a classroom. Actually, for me, it was my old high school, or my old middle school. And it was 2 days of in-class where you can sit in a classroom, and you get all those like shitty videos from like the 80s talking about motorcycle training and motorcycle safety and blah 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 blah. The statistics come up on the board, people die, blah 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 blah. And then after it introduces you to like the dangers of it, then it talks about how much fun it is, because that's what everyone really wants to know. And that stop sign came out of fucking nowhere. Okay, that's what everyone really wants to know. And in all honesty, it is really, really fun. But another thing they cover was, they cover everything, literally from scratch. You can walk in there knowing zero about motorcycles, and you will definitely be to the point where you could ride one on the streets. Yeah, I think before you take the course, you have to be in there with your, you have to have a motorcycle permit before you take the course. But, so pretty much, the motorcycle safety course covers literally everything and anything to do with motorcycles. So to pretty much cover what it talks about, the motorcycle training course, the MSF course covers basic introductions, and then from there it goes to like knowing your bike, like all the parts on the bike, so you know what everything does, what everything is, what they're called, and all that stuff. And then it'll go through like safety things, like where to ride on the road, when shouldn't you ride, and how to maintenance your bike, and all. It covers everything. And then towards the end of the second day, they'll start discussing on how... Can I go down here? Is this a one-way? Hopefully not. I don't know. Well, they start discussing on how to actually like start up your bike and how to take it for a ride and all that stuff. And you have to pass a written test, and then sometimes they'll have like a book, and you get together in groups and you have to do questions. But the group experience was a lot of fun, because it's just meeting up with people, it's just being with people you've never met before and doing a group project with them. I love that. I think that's cool. At the end of the second day, they'll start talking about the riders, like the on-course training, which was definitely the best part. And the first day of the on-course training was everyone pretty much gets all their gear together, they all put on their gear and everything, blah blah blah, and then once they get all that done, they do the paperwork and then all the boring stuff. And once all the boring stuff's out of the way, they start So the first day of on-course training, you go out there, you get all your gear on, and then you kind of just claim whichever bike. I don't know, it's probably different for different places, but for us, we had to claim which bike we wanted, and I was like one of the first people there. So I picked up the CRF 250, which is definitely a lot higher and a lot like, you know, the handlebars were a lot up higher. It's a dirt bike, so, or well, technically it's a dual sport, but it's it was definitely a lot higher than what I was used to, and I got on it and I loved the thing. And I kind of hate that the fact that I got one, or that I chose that bike, because that made me really, really want to get a dual sport. But this is, at the time, I already had this bike. But yeah, that was a really nice bike. And then, so once you claim your bike, you get on it, and then they teach you, it shows you again in person that you take like a walk around on the bike, and you get told what everything is. There's the clutch, there's the brake, there's the front brake, or there's the back brake, blah, 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 blah. And then when you finally get to starting it up, they take it through you. They take everything so slow. The pace that they go at for someone who already knows how to ride a motorcycle is just painfully slow at the beginning. And that's just because they're teaching, they're trying to, they have to understand, you have to understand that there are people who go there with zero motorcycle experience, and they have to, for the first time, try to ride a bike. And I've already had that down, so that was kind of boring. But once they get to the point where everyone has their bikes and they all started it up and all that stuff, they already had their bikes running, they start talking about the friction zones with the clutch. I can't really do it on a hill. Ugh, shit, okay, that's too heavy. But pretty much you start on a flat ground and you just kind of ease the clutch in and out until you feel it pull, and then you pull it back in. And then you let it go, then you pull it back in just to see where the friction zone is. And then once you get that, you start like, you have to like have the clutch halfway out and then full way out, and then kind of like walk it with your legs on the ground across a parking lot. And I can't stress how slow they take it, but that's really, really good for beginner riders. And I guess it's really, really boring and painfully slow for people who already know how to ride. Even, like, there was a guy who rode a sport bike there, and he was a sport bike rider for years. And he said after that he still learned something. I think the best thing you learn from the MSF course is how to respond to situations really fast. Like, it's like your natural reactions. But I feel like the course kind of like tones them, you know, like it makes them a lot more effective. Like how to swerve and how to avoid stuff. Like if there's something on the road. Like I already knew how to do that, but like, and also I think one of my favorite things was like just leaning, or like being turning. One of the more useful things I've learned in the MSF course is definitely turning. Like looking ahead of you when you turn. That was something I did, but like not, I realized I wasn't doing it properly. I was looking like ahead, but I had like my head turned like a little bit, so like I could still see what's in front of me, but like I saw a little bit to the left of me. But that was something that I thought really helped. Another thing that I thought really helped was making U-turns, like really, really slow speed U-turns on the MSF course. That really helped, because if you have to, like the box is actually the biggest one. That's the one that everyone's terrified of. What the box teaches you is how to do U-turns. And I have found that to be extremely useful. Whether it's in a parking lot, in your garage, or actually making a U-turn on the road or something, it's really, really helpful to do that. And it feels you feel a lot more confident in your driving whenever you can do that without putting your foot down, because you're going too slow. Oh, quick stop was another thing. The quick stop was a really helpful one as well. That's the only thing I got points on whenever I took my MSF course test. Whenever I took my license test, that was the only thing they gave me points for. And again, on the MSF course, you start with 0 and you get points whenever you do something wrong. And I got 4 points. I think in some other video I said 3, but I got 4 points, okay? And they told me that I wasn't really supposed to get any, or I could have done, like I've done the short stop before and I've had it within a couple feet, which is what the requirement is. And I could do it, I could have done it, and I've done it before where I didn't get any points, but on the test I got it with 4 points. But the ability to stop your motorcycle or stop your bike in a short amount of time, in a short distance, is, I can't explain how much that's helped me. Being able to stop your bike without locking up your tires really does give you a lot more confidence, especially whenever you're driving like downtown or something where there's a lot of people pulling out of their like parking spots and everything. Or, yeah, or like when someone pulls out on you on the highway or something, pulls into your lane on the highway. But in my opinion, I would totally say that the MSF course helps. It's helped me. And actually, the day of the MSF course, as soon as we finished it, we took our tests and everything. Oh, dude, hell yeah. I'm riding with him. Never mind, I guess I'm not. Okay, where was I? The MSF course helps. So I think what I've covered so far is the U-turn, the quick stop, and then just making a turn and looking ahead. Those are the major things that they teach you in the MSF course. And then other things like kind of, you know, they always check your turn signal, stuff like that, and you get into the habit of it. Another thing was you can't really trust whenever your bike says neutral and then you put the kickstand down and it turns off or something, because the lights, like if it says your headlights on or if it says your high beams are on or something like that, they obviously can burn out, or like maybe there's some sort of like bad connection. I need to get gas. Fuck. The gas station that I like is over there, so I think I might turn around and go there. So what I learned in boating school really helped me on the road. Anything else to talk about? Did I cover everything? I think I did. It was the U-turn, the quick stop, the looking whenever you turn, and then I guess the other thing would be just like knowing. I would say like knowing where you would be on the road, like where to go. I'm gonna take a right. Yeah, I'm gonna take a right. I don't want to go to the hospital, and I don't see anyone over here. Oh, this is a school. Hello. Goodbye. It was a really great experience, but definitely I would say that I have taken a lot of stuff from it. Yeah, that whole experience really helped me.